episode 17, part 2 of Increase Peak Performance by Practicing Self-Kindness is now here. This interview with Rachel Moore, as we started it last week, we get to finish it this week, and this episode goes through 2 really cool exercises, these therapy exercises we call role plays, but they get into the critic and how important the critic is in our lives. And even if you hear that judgment, what you need to do with it, you need to embrace it. And so I hope you really enjoyed this episode. Take a look, take a listen as Rachel and I get a chance to have some fun in this one.
When any of us are in fight or flight, we can't hear as well. Our hearing is not as great. We probably can't see as well, right? You get that tunnel vision. Yeah. All your senses become dulled. When you're a singer, you are the instrument. Yep. Your body is the instrument. Your brain is the instrument. Yep. Your hearing, your vision, even, you know, reading the music, looking at, the director. Yep. So like that actually, to be totally honest with you, probably the most effective thing for me in really understanding why I need my nervous system to be calm. Yes. And why I need to be chill. Yes. Even though I'm excited, but why I need to be not in fight or flight when I'm performing.
Yes. Yes, right? Like, I mean, that's it. That's the part when you are, right, doing the best you can. There is so much that's going on around you. And being able to practice as well is that grounding. The moments of that like breath, allow yourself to stay present. Because I think that's what, everyone is shooting for, in those moments, present. Right? Is to be present in the best ways that you can, and really recognize that, hey, like I am here, I am doing it, whatever it is, and I'm enjoying it, and you're just moving through that in such a present way, but not being able to hear, right? Not being able to see, being hijacked by the nervous system. That I think is such a big part.
I have an idea.
Yeah?
You want to try something?
Let's do it.
I love doing like role plays with my clients.
Okay.
And I know you've mentioned a few times when we've talked about like this inner dialogue that we can have. Yeah. Should we try it out?
Let's do it. I love it. Okay. I love it.
Do you want to be the critic or do you want to be the...
Let me shoot. It's not as natural, I want to say out loud, but I'll try the critic.
Okay.
Okay, I'll try the critic. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so you're going to be the critic.
Okay, I'll be the critic. Right. I'll be the critic.
Okay, so here I am. I'm gonna enact like I'm coming to honestly, to be honest with you, I think rehearsal is even more nerve-wracking than performance because it's a totally different animal. Yep. So I'm coming to rehearsal and I'm trying to be calm, but
okay, critic-wise, critic would be, I know you're not calm right now. I can sense that in you.
You know what? You're totally right. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop in this dark hallway.
But wait, I don't think you really want to stop in the dark hallway. I really don't think you do, because we've done this differently before, and I know that like this isn't really what you want.
So what's going on for you right now?
I don't know if I want to go there. Right?
Okay. So I'm hearing that like inner critic. I'm hearing that sounds like you're feeling a little anxious. Maybe like I'm curious what you need. Like, do you need to know like what to expect tonight? Do you need to know what we're going to be doing afterwards?
That, kind of what maybe we'd expect.
Okay.
Tonight is probably what I need.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's what I think is going to happen. Okay. I think that we're going to go in and I'm pretty sure he's going to write the names of the songs on the board so we know what we're doing.
Okay.
There may be some surprises that happen, but I want to let you know that I'll be there for you.
Okay.
Okay? So I got your back.
Okay.
And we'll be in it together.
Yeah.
And whatever it is, we can handle it.
Yeah.
This can be all right.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think that's okay. I think you can ground yourself.
Okay, great. Let's do some grounding.
Okay.
And we'll walk it.
Okay. And see. Yay! That was okay.
Good job.
Love it. I love it. Okay, so
And I have a quick
us-
story. I have a quick story.
Yeah,
by the
yeah.
way.
Do the story
This
and then
actually
run us through a little
happened.
bit. Okay.
At a rehearsal recently. At a previous rehearsal, I had done this work beforehand.
Yeah, okay.
And I had told myself, okay, you know what? My whole goal, because of the hearing and the, everything, my whole goal is to keep the nervous system calm. So I was focused on that. And so the next rehearsal, I wasn't as focused because I was like, oh, it went great last time, right? So this time it'll be fine. Oh my goodness. It was so not fine because we walk in and long story short, there are some people missing. And so the director decides he wants to listen to all of us, like almost individually. I had no idea this was going to happen. And so he goes, I'm in the 5th row. Yeah. And he goes, okay, so first row, stand up and sing row, row, row your boat, right? And I'm in the 5th row, so I have all this time to get nervous. My heart's pounding.
Oh.
It was wild. It was a tough rehearsal because I was not prepared.
That would be.
Yeah, it was tough. It was not great. But I was still like, sometimes they're not great, and that's fine.
Yeah, and that's fine, right? Like that's the part of it, right? The life and the way that it hits you, and it brings different things, even though you're planning. But like the practice that you were talking about, and I think break down here real quick the role play that we walked through, and just kind of some of the things that you.
Well, I'm curious about your experience too.
Okay. I can share after. I'll share after.
Okay.
But share with me kind of the dynamic.
When you beautifully and so inappropriately interrupted me, I was like, oh, no.
That's it.
Oh, but that's how it works, right? It's like, I'm not going to listen to you now.
What, you want to ground? No, we don't do that. What are you talking about? We ground.
We're better than that. We don't have to do that.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
not, we're beyond that.
Yes, that is
right?
so it.
That's what mine is anyway.
So
okay, so that threw me off a little bit.
Okay.
I was like, oh boy. Okay.
Yeah.
So
and
that's
then, Okay, explain.
So that's when I remembered, right? I was trying not to get freaked out. Even in our role play, right? The nervous system doesn't know the difference.
Yep.
So I was like, what do I usually do in this case? I was like, I get more information.
Get curious. I heard you say it.
Yes, I have a thing in my room where that I see in my office. I see all the time. So stay curious. So I got curious. Yep. It's scary to get curious because I'm like, I don't know if he's going to attack me again, but I'm going to try. Yes. Right. So then I asked you what's going on. And then I noticed that you as a critic softened a little bit.
Yeah. Totally went down, right? Like, and as soon as
got kind of introspective, I think. Yeah.
Because difference being, and I'll just jump in.
Yeah,
you're going, difference being when it's fought, right? And there's a battle.
There you go.
Right?
Ooh, we should try that.
Right? Like when there's a battle and that happens, everything just gets louder.
Amp. Yeah. The critic just gets harder and harder. Yeah.
But you did the opposite. Right? You got curious, which I absolutely love, right? We were rolling with it. It was awesome. And as you were curious, there was some parts though that you said there that I thought was like really beautiful, right? Like as you were getting curious with it, you asked the question of need.
Yeah.
I thought that one was.
Yeah.
So let me ask, so for you in that, whether it's a practice or whether you do that, how come you went towards need?
Because I understand, at least in my way of thinking, my understanding is that those parts of us that like to interrupt and get in the way and be really annoying. No personal offense, you did it great. But those parts of us are very young. Sometimes younger than others. They come from a young place. And what do kids need? They need whatever they need that they can't get on their own. And those parts I think are loud and frustrated because they can't get it on their own. Again, this is the community piece, right? This is the intimacy piece. This is the, taking care, the gentleness, right?
Yeah.
And I, to be honest, as me in that role play, I kind of felt it too. I was like, I think I need something. It felt more of an integrated moment there where I was like, I think I need this too, not just this critical part of me.
Yes.
Maybe it's telling me what I need.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Like it's so interesting when that shift happens, and the shift being instead of battle and fight, right, to this spot of curious. Yeah. I mean, you named it as well as you saw me go, oh,
I did. Yeah.
Like you're asking me a legit question. You're asking Like, and that was just instinct. That wasn't like I was trying to plan to like go
I felt
calm.
it. Yeah.
You know, it was just like, that's it. That's the question. That was very helpful. And so then I was able to, even as like the critic, I felt like then it was able to be like, okay, even you gave me some examples, right? And need. It was like, okay, that one sounds good. Like, let's go with that one. And then it's like,
so then we're a team. Now we're a team. Now we're in it together, which is awesome because that critic has a lot of energy and I can use that.
Yep.
And I can help the critic get what it needs. Yes. Right? So it's like symbiotic at that point.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
Should we try a fight?
Oh, do we want to try a fight?
Yeah.
We need a fight.
Yeah, we need to fight.
Okay.
Do you want me to be the critic now?
Oh man, we can switch it up. I'm gonna try and ground myself right now before the critic
We'll do
jumps
lots
in
of care after.
It's one of those. Okay,
it's gonna be hard. We don't fight, y'all.
Yeah, we don't. No, we don't. We don't fight. We've integrated life. It's okay. Let me pull myself into a situation.
I mean, with each other. We may fight with other people. I don't know.
Yeah, there's. Yes,
there's always somebody.
It happens. There is no doubt. Oh man. Okay, let me pull myself into a situation. Give a little context. So let's say I'll just reel it into this process. Okay. So as podcast is happening, right? And in these moments,
in vivo here,
I am right. So let's say the setup portion for me, I'm walking in and setting up, and there's a lot that's going on, and so I start to think about all the things that's needed to go through the setup piece. Well, I'll start the role play by just walking in with my stuff. Okay.
You ready?
Let's go.
Okay. Walking in.
So I'm walking in with my stuff and I'm putting down my box and I'm thinking to myself, this is a lot.
You know, you totally forgot something.
Pretty sure. Let me take a second. I don't think I did.
You did.
Forget.
You forgot. I'm not going to tell you what it is, though.
No. I would really need you to tell me what it is.
No.
Because if you don't tell me what it is, then I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna start to freak out.
Yep, you're probably gonna fail. You already know that, though.
It's so true that it is. I'm like trying to. But let me take a moment. I gotta take a moment.
No, you don't have a moment. Your guest is gonna be here any minute. And they're going to expect
that is true.
That you have your stuff together.
It's gonna be a lot of expectation. There's no doubt. Oh man.
Tell me when you need
some,
stuff.
Right? I'm gonna need some. Like those are okay. What end scene?
I was like, is he all right?
It's right. It's right. It's
literally.
John,
I can see your face getting red.
See?
Yeah. Right, and I'm just cool as a freaking cucumber over here. No problems. I don't feel vulnerable at all.
I can feel myself. Right, like as you're speaking, I can literally feel myself go down. Right? And start to shrink, which is so much if I can, right? Give me a second, because I need to, come back in.
Here we are. You can hear again, you can see again, right?
Start
you're here, we're friends.
Right? The breath part is a part of that. Just,
how was that hard? Was that hard for you?
Because those are like literally direct messages. And
that's interesting.
I think what I have learned, and that's what I've appreciated about some of the, when you first introduced the idea of kind of parts and child, and what it means to take that moment to say, what is it that you need in that moment and move in that space versus even with me like go, 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 go. Like I got through it, and I was here and we're doing our thing and we're still moving through. But that was a little more raw.
And in that moment.
Yeah.
By the way, I could tell even earlier in life when you were doing this, like your energy was so different, right? And I was just like, I wasn't critical. People, I was not.
Yes.
I was just really calm, and I asked you the first question. Remember? Remember the first question I asked you?
Yeah. How can I help?
Yeah,
for sure.
So we gotta. What if we did that with ourselves, right? How are you right now? By the way, I feel the need. I feel the need to make sure you're okay.
Like, yes. No. It's coming off. It's coming off.
Like,
there's still a little energy there. There's no question. But it's coming off. As it's something that...
Let's complete it. What do you
Okay.
actually want to say to me that's not a fight as the critic? What did you say?
Yes.
What did you say?
So
Let's
if
complete
there,
it, yeah.
because what you did was so beautifully done, and I could tell is practiced, right, for you when we did ours.
Oh, I was like the practice critic of that
Right.
too.
Well, that is no. The practice when I was the critic, right?
Yeah.
And when it came out as that need. So if we're kind of completing it, that would be my question. A moment of, and for me, I literally have to center myself. So it has to be that.
Okay.
And then being able to ask that question, what is it that
Do you
you
want to
need?
ask it?
So to
Okay.
that critic,
Let's go
in
back.
that moment,
Yeah.
So if we go
Okay.
back in role play,
Yeah.
well, what is it that you need in this moment?
What pops in my head as the critic is I need to know that you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That feels scary to say. Okay.
It does. And I would have to be honest with myself. And I would have to say, there are parts of this that I know what I'm doing, but there are other parts that I don't. Are we okay with that? Are you okay that this is a learning process and that mistakes could be a part of this process?
Mistakes are scary.
They are. Like in this
Don't
part.
leave me, okay?
Okay.
This is what the critic is feeling.
Yeah.
Don't leave me. Don't
Yeah.
leave me alone.
Yeah. I won't.
Okay.
I won't leave you alone.
Okay.
I'm here with you.
Okay.
And like I literally had, if you were, and this is just picture, but if you were in that moment, I literally would have like put a hand on.
Right.
And I literally would have been like that embrace and
Right.
being able to say it, right, I think is a part of that.
Yeah.
But I could picture that within and being like
Yep.
this need in this moment as you were getting into don't leave me, right, is like I
Yep.
won't. Let me embrace.
The critic is actually really vulnerable.
Mhm.
Maybe, right.
Maybe like the most.
Or maybe it's, and I don't know if it's the critic that protects our vulnerability, or I don't know if they're the same. Does that make sense?
Yep.
If they're
Totally.
just two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, because I would say yes. I mean, and this is just thinking about it. I don't know if even both of those exist. In the sense of I do think of our own vulnerability, and I'm not sure if it's a vulnerability that is like made up of, like, and part of that vulnerability are those critics, are those parts of that it's something that as you're experiencing more and more of, like, to me that's a nurturing moment, right? Like that's a nurturing moment of saying, hey, like, come with me, stay with me, I am here for you, which is the other parts, right? The other parts of me are able to access that,
Right.
so then it seems like it's bringing
together.
that
I
along.
was surprised how vulnerable I felt when you were. Did you feel that way too when I asked you what you need and everything? Did you
yeah.
feel? Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, oh, all my bravado, right, was just gone, and I was like, oh, it was not a bad thing, but it just felt very tender. Spot. Yeah.
Yes.
That's fascinating,
Yep.
and I think that's the thing that maybe feels scary sometimes.
Yep. Yeah, I think as maybe like whether in these role plays, right, and some of the things that we're bringing into play, one of the things that came to mind is intimacy, tenderness, like those kinds of things, self-kindness. The translation of that societally for so many people can be weakness.
Right.
And I literally see people go like I can't get into that. Those levels of
Right.
those things that kind of mentioned, and recognizing at the same time when you do get into those.
Yeah. I think that vulnerability, that sensitivity, that unfortunately is oftentimes when trauma has occurred for people, especially when you're a young child or whatever.
Yep.
And so those parts are built up, I think, to protect us, and but they're not actually that strong. I didn't feel mine was that strong. All you had to do was just ask me a question, and I was like,
Just done. Right? It's so
That's
true.
funny.
Yeah.
It's a paradox.
Yep. Yeah, it really is, and I know I I love this, and what we've been able to share the role play thing. I think that's absolutely beautiful. Maybe as we're kind of wrapping up, at least for today, I know you shared one earlier, like for instance, the stay curious, and what that means.
Yeah.
So yeah, if there's something else that pops up for you in that way, or we can roll with that.
Here's what I think is really important from what we talked about today. Those parts of us, especially the critical parts, they're actually really important and have served such a great, and still serve in all our lives, such a great purpose. And they deserve respect. Even though we want to like yell at them and get rid of them and bury them, like don't, for the reasons we talked about. And also just because like, I wouldn't, do that to a child. And these really are just younger parts of us that haven't quite figured out what's going on, don't really know that there's an adult in charge now.
Yep.
And so like you said, like with the nurturance, I think what they need more than criticism back is nurturance. And the last thing I'll say about that is like, if you do get critical of your critical parts, like it's okay. You can, totally understandable. Just like with a child, right? If you get frustrated, it happens. Just go back, do some repair. You're human, and nobody's ever going to do this perfectly. And we're all on a learning journey together. And that piece is what I think connects all of us, is that we're all just trying to figure it out.
Beautiful. What it means to be able to change, that perspective on that critic, with that's within us.
Yeah, bring that critic with you. Sign them up.
Yep.
Be a team.
Yep, exactly. Right? Bring them apart. So yeah, well, with that, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Time. Yeah. And maybe fill us in on ways that we can check in on you and find out more information. And I'll also have those listed as well. But
good.
Fill us in on how to do that.
Yeah, you can find me at my website, which is rachelmoorecounseling.com, or just Google Rachel Moore LMFT. I have a common name, but if you put in Rachel Moore therapist, somebody like me or me will pop up.
Yep.
And also on Instagram, also on Facebook, and of course my podcast, Beyond Artist Block Podcast. You can go to that, beyondartistblockpodcast.com as well. I also want to say, like on my Rachel Moore Counseling website, if you go there, there's a link to click if you want to set up just a 15-minute phone consultation. Not even necessarily to work with me. Maybe my schedule is full, or maybe it's not a good fit. I'm really happy to help people find an appropriate therapist. And so, or other resources. So if you're looking for that, like feel free to click on there and chat with me. I'm open to that.
That'd be great. Yes. With that, episode 17 comes to an end. An awesome discussion with Rachel, especially the idea of embracing the critical parts within, how important they are. Bring them along, have them a part of your team, and being able to practice that. I know we had some exercises there. There will be summaries in the descriptions below, whether on YouTube, other podcast platforms. Take a look at those. Also, Rachel's contact information will be there as well. It's a great place for resources. Remember too, there's going to be more content. There's going to be more dialogue that's going to happen in the Mental Fitness Stories community. That'll start soon. It'll start out with a Facebook group, so be aware of that. And I'm looking to build that more and more. Very excited about that. As we end, remember to be curious, stay curious without judgment. Until next time. Thank you for joining us on this transformative journey through Mental Fitness Stories with John Steele. If you resonated with today's episode, don't forget to hit subscribe and leave a review on your podcast platform of your choice. Remember, your story is important, and so is your mental well-being. If you have a personal mental fitness journey you'd like to share, or topics you'd like us to explore in future episodes, reach out to us on social media or through our website. Stay tuned for more inspiring conversations, expert insights, and practical tips to help you cultivate a resilient mind. Until next time, take care of your mind, nurture your inner dialogue, and prioritize your self-care. Remember, you are not alone, and your mental fitness and well-being is worth the investment. Thanks for being a part of the Mental Fitness Stories community.